15 days, that's all it takes to start rewriting your story. Not 15 years, not even 15 months, 15 days to start moving that needle. Now, I'm not saying you'll have everything figured out in 2 weeks, but I am saying that in 15 days, you can build a momentum that changes everything after that. You see, transformation doesn't begin with massive steps. It begins with small, consistent habits that shift the direction of your life. So tonight, I want to give you 5 habits, 5 actions that will transform your life if you commit, truly commit for 15 days straight. Let's start where every single day begins, your morning. That first light that breaks through your window, that quiet before the world starts demanding your attention, that's not just another part of your day. That's your foundation. You win your morning, you win your day. You win enough days, you start to shift the entire direction of your life. And it's not about perfection, it's about ownership. Now listen, I'm not saying you have to become one of those people waking up at 4 a.m., drinking kale smoothies, running marathons before the sun even stretches its arms. No, I'm talking about something simpler, deeper, more powerful. I'm talking about owning that first hour, making it yours. That first hour sets the tone for everything that follows. If the first thing you do is rush, check your phone, scroll through chaos, you've already surrendered your peace to the noise of the world. But if you start with stillness, gratitude, and intention, you tell the world, I decide how my day begins. Spend that first hour with purpose. 10 minutes to breathe, not just breathing to stay alive, but breathing to feel alive. Close your eyes. Inhale peace, exhale worry. Feel your lungs expand, your shoulders drop. Let that silence speak to you. Because in that silence, you'll hear something we often ignore. Your own thoughts, your own truth. Then take 10 minutes to write down what you're grateful for. Doesn't matter if it's the big things or the small ones. A roof over your head, the smell of coffee, the chance to start again. Gratitude shifts your perspective. You stop seeing what's missing and you start recognizing what's possible. A person who starts the day with gratitude walks differently. They move with a sense of peace, not pressure. They approach problems as lessons, not punishments. Gratitude is power, and it's free. Now take 10 more minutes, just 10, to visualize who you want to become. Not what you have, not what you've lost, but who you are becoming. Picture that person clearly. See how they walk, how they talk, how they handle challenges. Because your mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. It believes what you feed it. Athletes do this before every game. They see the wind before they touch the ball. They train their minds before they move their bodies. That's what I'm asking you to do. Train your mindset before the world tests it. A study from Harvard Business Review found that people who start their mornings with reflection and gratitude report 31% higher productivity and 23% less stress. That's not magic, that's clarity. That's what happens when you start your day with purpose instead of panic. And you don't need a special routine or expensive planner. You just need to choose yourself before you choose the world. Let me tell you something, if you can own your morning, you can handle anything that follows. Because life is going to test you, bills, deadlines, unexpected setbacks. But when you've already centered yourself before the storm, you stop reacting and you start responding. You don't break under pressure, you breathe through it. I remember meeting someone who told me he used to start every morning in chaos. Phone in hand, mind racing, always late, always anxious. One day he decided to make a change, not a big one, just one. For 15 days he committed to waking up and spending the first hour without distractions. He said at first it felt strange, quiet, uncomfortable even. But by the end of those 15 days his tone had changed. He was calmer, clearer, more in control. He said, I stopped letting the day own me and started owning my day. That's the shift. That's what this is about. 15 days, that's all I'm asking. 15 mornings where you choose silence over scrolling, gratitude over grumbling, vision over noise. 15 mornings to build the muscle of discipline, the habit of peace. And once you feel what it's like to start the day grounded, you won't want to go back because peace becomes addictive. Focus becomes natural. You stop chasing motivation and start living from momentum. Own your morning and you'll find the rest of the day starts to fall into place. Problems won't disappear, but your strength to face them will multiply. You'll walk into each day knowing you already won before you stepped out the door. And when that happens, When peace starts showing up before chaos even knocks, you'll realize that transformation doesn't start out there. It starts right here in the quiet of your morning with you deciding to take control. 15 days, try it. You'll see what I mean. Words are powerful. The tongue can build a future or break a spirit. It can heal or it can hurt. And every single day, you have a choice. You can speak life into yourself, or you can let the noise of the world speak death over your dreams. The world's already loud enough telling you what you can't do, who you're not, what you'll never be. You don't need another critic. You need a coach inside your own head. You need that voice that says, I got this, I'm capable, I'm still growing. Every morning, I want you to look at yourself in the mirror. And I mean really look, not just a quick glance before rushing out the door, but a pause, a moment. Look past the tired eyes, the scars, the doubts. See the person who's been through battles and still standing. And I want you to say, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm better than I was yesterday. That word yet, that's the bridge between who you are and who you're becoming. Because you may not be there now, but you're on your way. And that journey deserves respect. See, this isn't arrogance, it's affirmation. There's a big difference. Arrogance says, I don't need to grow. Affirmation says, I'm still growing and I believe I can. When you speak life into yourself, you're not pretending everything's perfect. You're reminding yourself that even in the storm, you have strength. Even in the struggle, you have purpose. Because if you don't believe in you, no one else can carry that torch for you. Nobody can speak your dreams into existence like you can. Muhammad Ali used to stand tall and shout, I am the greatest, long before the world ever agreed. People thought he was cocky, thought he was crazy. But he wasn't waiting for the world to validate him. He was training his mind to believe it before his body achieved it. That's the power of words. He said it until it became true, and the truth followed the declaration. You've got to do the same thing. Speak what you desire until it becomes your reality. Think about it. How many times have you let negative words take root? I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I'm too late. Those words settle deep, and before you know it, they start directing your actions. You play small because your language tells you to. But when you change the words, you change the narrative. Say, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm not finished. That's how you start shifting your life from limitation to liberation. There's science behind it, too. Studies in positive psychology show that people who practice daily affirmations have lower stress, higher confidence, and greater resilience when facing challenges. It's not wishful thinking. It's reprogramming your brain. You see, your mind listens to your mouth. Whatever you say often enough, your brain starts to believe. That's why you've got to be careful what comes out of your lips, because your words are instructions your spirit will follow. Let me tell you something real. I knew a man who used to talk himself down every day. He'd say things like, I'm never going to make it. I'm too old to change. Nobody notices me. And guess what? His life reflected those words. But one day, he made a decision. He was tired of hearing his own doubt. So he flipped the script. Every morning, he'd stand in front of the mirror, hand over his heart, and say, I am enough. I am capable. At first, it felt silly, forced. But after a few weeks, something shifted. His shoulders lifted. His voice grew stronger. He started to walk differently. Not because his circumstances changed, but because he did. That's what happens when you speak life into yourself. Your energy changes. Your posture straightens. You start walking in purpose instead of pressure. You stop waiting for permission and start moving in conviction. You stop surviving the day and start shaping it. That's the transformation that words can bring. You can't speak defeat every morning and expect victory in the afternoon. You can't curse your reflection and expect confidence to grow. What you say to yourself matters. It's the seed that determines the harvest. So plant words that feed your faith, not your fear. Speak strength when you feel weak. Speak peace when life feels chaotic. Speak progress when you feel stuck. For 15 days, I want you to try this. 15 days of speaking life. 15 mornings where you look in that mirror and declare truth, not excuses. Say it even when you don't feel it. But especially when you don't feel it, because feelings follow focus. And when your focus is on faith, strength, and growth, the rest of your life starts to catch up. 15 days. That's it. 15 days of affirming who you are and who you're becoming. Do that and watch what happens. You'll find your confidence rebuilding piece by piece. You'll notice how peace walks into the room with you. You'll see how power sounds when it comes from your own voice. Because when you start to speak life into yourself, you stop waiting for the world to validate your worth. You start living like you already know it. Let me tell you something, your body and your mind, they're not separate. They're teammates, partners in this journey of life. When one quits, the other starts to crumble. You can't expect your mind to be sharp if your body feels neglected, and you can't expect your body to thrive if your mind is full of doubt. The two move together. They rise together. And if you want to transform your life, even in just 15 days, you've got to start treating them like the team they are. Now, I'm not saying you need to live in the gym. You don't have to lift heavy weights or run until your lungs burn. What I'm saying is simple: move, walk, stretch, dance, breathe, find your rhythm again. You see, movement is more than exercise. It's communication. It's your body saying, I'm still alive. I'm still capable. When you move, you shake off the dust of yesterday. You release the tension that stress has been building in your shoulders, your back, your heart. We live in a world that's constantly rushing but rarely moving with intention. People spend hours scrolling, sitting, thinking, worrying, and then they wonder why they feel heavy, not just physically but emotionally. The truth is, your body holds your emotions. When you don't move, you trap them. But the moment you do, the moment you walk, stretch, breathe, you start to release what's been weighing you down. There's real science behind it. When you move, your brain releases endorphins. That's nature's antidepressant. It's your body's way of rewarding you for taking care of it. Studies from Stanford University show that even a 20-minute walk increases creative thinking by 60%. 60%. Imagine that a simple walk could unlock the idea that changes your entire life. You're not just burning calories, you're building clarity. You're not just moving your body, you're freeing your mind. I knew a man who was stuck mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Every day felt the same. Wake up, work, worry, sleep, repeat. He told me he couldn't think straight, couldn't find motivation, couldn't feel joy anymore. One day he decided to take a walk. Nothing fancy, just around the block. The next day he did it again, then again. Soon those walks turned into a routine. He said something happened around day 10. He started hearing his own thoughts again, but clearer this time. He started having ideas. He started feeling lighter. His problems didn't disappear, but his strength to face them grew. That's the power of movement. It doesn't erase the storms in your life. It just teaches you how to breathe through them. And that's what I want for you. I want you to give yourself permission to move. It doesn't have to look perfect. You don't have to be fast or flexible or coordinated. You just have to start. 15 minutes of walking, 15 minutes of stretching, 15 minutes of dancing like no one's watching. That's all it takes to remind your body it was built to move, built to carry you, built to heal. See, movement is a kind of prayer. It's gratitude in motion. Every step says, thank you. Every breath says, I'm still here. Every stretch says, I believe in tomorrow. You don't need fancy equipment or a gym membership. You just need a decision to show up for yourself. Because every time you move, you're telling your mind, we're not giving up today. I've seen people transform, not because they lost a certain number of pounds, but because they gained energy, focus, confidence. They started to walk differently, not just physically, but mentally. When you move your body, your posture changes. And when your posture changes, your mindset follows. You stand taller, not because life got easier, but because you remembered you were built to endure. 15 days, that's what I'm asking for. 15 days of movement, 15 days of showing your body you care. Maybe it's a morning walk with your thoughts. Maybe it's stretching before bed. Maybe it's putting on your favorite song and dancing in your living room like the world can wait because it can. 15 days of that, and I promise you'll start to feel lighter, not just in weight, but in spirit. You'll start noticing small things. You'll sleep better. Your mind will quiet down. Your creativity will return. Problems that once felt impossible will seem manageable because your body and your mind will finally be working together again. That connection is the foundation of strength, balance, and peace. Move your body, free your mind. It's not just a habit. It's a reminder that you're alive, that you're capable of change, that you have power in every step you take. Because the moment you decide to move, even just a little, that's the moment you remind life that you're still in the fight. And that's how transformation begins. 15 days. Just move and watch everything else start to move with you. You can't transform your life if you keep having the same conversations with the same people about the same problems. You can't expect change while sitting in the same room where nothing ever grows. Sometimes the reason you're stuck isn't because you lack motivation or opportunity. It's because you're surrounded by people who don't want to move. Energy is contagious. You either catch the fire or you catch the fatigue. You either rise with the ones who are reaching higher or sink with the ones who gave up trying. That's why you have to protect your circle. Because who you let close has the power to shape your spirit. Take a real, honest look at the people around you. Who's feeding your fire and who's draining your flame? Who speaks life into your ideas and who laughs at your dreams before they even take a breath? Sometimes it's not hate, it's habit. People get used to the version of you they've always known. They don't mean harm, but they can't see beyond their own limits. And if you're not careful, you'll start shrinking yourself just to stay accepted. You'll start dimming your light so you don't make others uncomfortable. But here's the truth: you were not born to play small so other people could feel safe. There comes a point when you have to decide that your peace, your growth, your purpose, they matter too much to be compromised. And that might mean stepping back from certain circles, even if it feels lonely for a while. Growth often starts in isolation. Think about it. A seed doesn't bloom in the sunlight. It first breaks open in the dark, buried and unseen. That's where it builds strength. That's where it prepares to rise. You might lose a few people along the way, but you'll gain yourself. Now, I'm not saying cut everyone off. I'm saying be aware. Start surrounding yourself with voices that lift you, challenge you, stretch your thinking. Spend 15 days choosing your influences with intention. Read books that feed your mind. Listen to people who have walked paths you want to walk. Watch how your mindset begins to shift. You start to think differently, speak differently, move differently, because your environment is no longer fighting your growth, it's fueling it. Jim Rohn once said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." That's not just a clever quote, it's a warning and a promise. Look at your 5. If they complain all day, you'll start to complain too. If they make excuses, you'll start to make them without realizing it. But if your 5 are disciplined, focused, inspired, you'll start to rise to their level. That's how it works. Energy moves. Mindsets spread. You can't stay around greatness and not be affected by it, just like you can't stay around negativity and not absorb some of it. I remember talking to someone who was trying to change his life. He had dreams, big ones, but he kept going back to the same group of people who didn't believe in much of anything. Every time he mentioned his goals, they'd roll their eyes or joke about how unrealistic he was being. And after a while, he stopped talking about his dreams altogether. He started to doubt himself. One day, he told me, "Maybe I'm just not meant for more." I looked at him and said, "No, you're just surrounded by people who stopped believing a long time ago." That hit him hard. He started spending time with people who encouraged him instead of dismissing him, people who challenged him to get better. Within months, his energy changed. He started moving differently, not because life suddenly got easier, but because his circle stopped weighing him down. The people around you are either pushing you toward your purpose or pulling you away from it. There's no in between. So protect your circle like your future depends on it, because it does. You don't have to announce who's leaving or who's staying. Just start adjusting your time and energy. Every minute spent in the wrong environment is a minute stolen from your potential. And understand this, protecting your circle isn't about arrogance. It's about alignment. It's about being intentional with the kind of energy you allow to shape you. You can still love people from a distance. You can still care without staying stuck. Because sometimes love looks like letting go, and growth looks like moving on. For 15 days, test this. Surround yourself with growth, voices that uplift, people who believe in progress, not perfection. Read something inspiring each day. Listen to wisdom. Spend time with those who challenge you to aim higher. You'll feel it. Your energy will start to shift, your confidence will rise, and your dreams will no longer feel impossible. They'll feel within reach. Because once you change your environment, your vision gets clearer. You can't climb if you're holding hands with those who refuse to stand. So choose your 5 wisely. Choose them with purpose. Because when you protect your circle, you protect your peace, your progress, and your power. And that right there is how transformation truly begins. Now, this one's not easy, but nothing worth having ever is. Transformation isn't supposed to be comfortable. It's supposed to stretch you, challenge you, break you open just enough to let a stronger version of you step forward. So for 15 days, I want you to do one thing every single day that scares you. One thing that pushes you out of that safe little corner you built for yourself. It doesn't have to be something grand or dramatic. It could be as simple as making that phone call you've been putting off, speaking up in that meeting where you usually stay silent, applying for that job you think you're not ready for, or saying no to something or someone that doesn't serve you anymore. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is the decision to move forward in spite of it. It's standing face to face with that voice in your head that says, "What if you fail?" and answering, "Then I'll learn." It's walking toward the thing that makes your stomach twist because somewhere deep down, you know that's where the growth lies. See, when you start training yourself to face discomfort daily, you begin to build something far more valuable than confidence. You build resilience. Most people think strength comes from success, but it doesn't. It comes from struggle. It comes from standing back up after being knocked down. It comes from looking at fear and saying, "You don't control me anymore." That's the real transformation. When fear shows up and you say, "I've met you before. I know how to handle you." And the only way you get there is by doing the hard things one small step at a time. Think about it. Every great story of victory started with someone doing something that scared them. Rosa Parks sat down when she was told to stand up. That was one act of courage. A young athlete walks into the gym before sunrise while everyone else is sleeping. That's courage. A mother deciding to go back to school to give her kids a better life. That's courage. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's just a whisper that says, "Try again tomorrow." I remember meeting someone who told me they were tired of living the same year over and over. Same routine, same job, same doubts, same dreams that never moved beyond the someday stage. I asked, "What's holding you back?" They said, "Fear, fear of failing, fear of what people will think." So I said, "Then that's your starting point. Fear is not your stop sign, it's your signal. It's pointing to the exact area where your breakthrough is waiting." The next day, they made one small, terrifying step. They posted their business idea online for the first time. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't polished, but it was real. And that one act of courage created momentum that changed everything. That's how it works. When you do something hard every day, your fear gets smaller and your faith gets stronger. You stop running from the challenge and start walking toward it with purpose. It could be a tough conversation you've avoided for years. It could be forgiving someone who hurt you. It could be forgiving yourself. Whatever it is, face it. Because every time you do, you grow a little braver, a little bolder, a little freer. Fear thrives in silence. It grows stronger when you avoid it. But when you confront it, when you stare it down and say, "I see you, but you don't own me," it loses its power. That's why this habit matters. It's not just about doing hard things to prove something to the world. It's about proving something to yourself. It's about showing up and saying, I'm capable of more than I've been settling for. And here's the thing, it doesn't take a lifetime to start this change. It takes 15 days. 15 days of courage. 15 days of choosing growth over comfort. 15 days of saying, "I'll do it scared." You don't need the fear to disappear. You just need to move anyway. Because action is the antidote to fear. You'll notice something happens around day 5 or 6. Your fear starts to lose its edge. You'll start feeling a quiet strength inside you. Not because life suddenly got easier, but because you got stronger. You'll start realizing that discomfort isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. Every hard thing you face becomes a lesson, every challenge a chapter in your story. So do one hard thing every day. Don't wait for courage to show up. Create it through action. Call that person, send that email, speak that truth, take that first step. Because if you can do one hard thing today, you can do another tomorrow. And soon enough, fear won't be something that holds you back. It'll be something that reminds you just how far you've come. Transformation starts in those small, brave moments, the ones that no one sees, but that change everything inside you. 15 days, 15 chances to rise. And by the end of it, you'll look back and realize you didn't just face your fears, you outgrew them. So here's the challenge, 15 days. That's it. Not forever, not a lifetime commitment, just 15 days to test yourself, to see what could happen if you truly decided to show up differently. 15 days to live these 5 habits, not as ideas or nice words, but as action. For 15 days, own your morning. Don't let the world grab you before you've even had a chance to breathe. Set the tone before the noise can dictate your direction. Spend that first hour with purpose, a moment of silence, a word of gratitude, a vision for who you want to become. Because how you start your day decides how your day will start to shape you. Speak life into yourself. Every single morning, look in the mirror and remind yourself that you're growing, that you're improving, that you are capable. Speak it until your soul starts to believe it. The world will try to convince you that you're not enough, that you're behind, that you're failing, but your words have the power to fight that lie. And when your voice becomes your own encouragement, you'll stop waiting for someone else to hand you confidence. You'll start carrying it from within. Move your body, free your mind. Don't let your days pass sitting still, locked up in your thoughts, heavy with worry. Get up and move, walk, stretch, breathe, dance, lift. It doesn't matter how, just move. Movement isn't just about fitness, it's about freedom. It's about reminding yourself that you're still alive, still capable, still in control of your energy. Because when your body moves, your spirit follows. You'll start feeling lighter, not because life got easier, but because your strength finally showed up. Protect your circle. Take a real look at who's around you. Are they feeding your fire or draining your flame? You can't climb if you're holding hands with people who are standing still. Surround yourself with growth, with voices that lift you higher, with people who challenge you to think bigger, act stronger, and dream bolder. The right company will push you toward your potential, and the wrong company will keep you chained to your past. Choose wisely. And then do one hard thing every single day. Face one fear. Make one decision that stretches you. Take one step that you've been avoiding. It could be a tough conversation, a new project, a moment of truth you've been scared to face. Whatever it is, do it. Because growth doesn't live in comfort, it lives in courage. And when you start doing the hard things daily, fear starts losing its grip on you. You start realizing you're stronger than you ever gave yourself credit for. Now listen, if you stay consistent, if you do these 5 things for just 15 days, you'll look back and realize something powerful. You'll see that it wasn't magic that changed you. It wasn't luck, it wasn't some miracle moment. It was discipline, it was faith. It was you deciding that you deserve more than average, that you're done living small, that you're done letting excuses hold the pen that writes your story. Because average is crowded, but greatness is quiet. It lives in the small choices you make when no one's watching. You'll notice how your mornings feel different, how your mind starts to clear, how your energy feels lighter. You'll start catching yourself thinking differently, speaking differently, standing differently. That's transformation, not because someone handed you a new life, but because you built one from within. You made a decision, and that decision created motion. And once you start moving, once you start believing, once you start acting, everything else starts aligning. The truth is, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to drag you to your goals or beg you to live your potential. This is your life, your responsibility, your choice. You can either let another 15 days pass by, doing the same things that got you stuck, or you can take these 15 days and turn them into the beginning of something greater. 15 days of intention can rewrite years of hesitation. So don't wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. Don't wait for motivation. It fades. What you need is commitment, a quiet, firm promise to yourself that you will not quit this time. That for 15 days you will show up no matter how you feel, no matter how small the progress. Because the magic doesn't happen in the first step. It happens in the next one, and the one after that, And the one after that, 15 days. That's all it takes to remind yourself that you have control, that your life is still in your hands. But here's the secret. It doesn't start on day 15. It starts on day 1. The day you stop waiting, stop doubting, stop saying, maybe tomorrow. The day you decide that today is enough, that you are enough. That's when it begins. 15 days can start a lifetime. All it takes is one choice, one decision, one day. Day 1, that's where everything changes.